Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler,
You can't handle the truth!
Graham,
The force is strong in this way.
and Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Gaming Hub. This is episode number 133. I'm your host Tyler, saying thank you so much for joining us for this special episode where we're going to talk a little bit about what we saw at XO18 last weekend, the big Microsoft show down in Mexico City. Kind of showed up a lot of new stuff and some exciting things that are coming soon. So we wanted to not make everybody wait until next weekend to hear all that, but kind of get something quick in where we could talk about it and talk about what really impressed us and what didn't. And joining me for this is Steven. How are you today?
I'm good. The wind's a little terrible, so it's made my allergies pretty bad. So I apologize if I sound a little stuffy. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
All right, awesome. I'm good. So, you know, we saw a lot of stuff this past weekend, but before we get into that, just want to quickly remind everybody, if you're listening out there, that we'd love to join our community. So to do that, you can go to Facebook, the Gaming Hub forums. You can go to Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub there. From either of those places, get a link into our Discord and join that. We have a lot of good conversation going on there. And if you want to help support the show, you can do that as well. Head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/gaminghub. And for as little as $5 a month, you're entered into an exclusive patrons-only giveaway every single month, which we're actually doing on episode 134. So you've got a little bit longer to get in on that, a few more days, to be eligible for November, and get $60 to use on whichever console you choose. And there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up for the Black Friday sale, so great time to get in on that. For as little as $2 there, you get exclusive content, and you get an extra clue and an extra clue per month, and an extra guess for our holiday giveaway. Biggest giveaway we've ever had. We're giving away a Nintendo Switch console, and we give a clue every single week, starting with episode 127. So if you're new, go back and start there. Clue every single week about something from the world of video games. It could be a game, it could be a character, it could be a place, it could be a thing, a weapon, it could be whatever. Okay? So first person to correctly guess that, the only way to submit guesses is on Discord or Facebook. We have a form that's dedicated just for that. So anyway, if you want to help support us, patreon.com/gaminghub. The other way to do that is if you are an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month. And if you choose to spend that on us, we'd really appreciate it. If not, spend it on somebody, help them grow, get better, and achieve their goals. All right. So what we're going to do, we do this format most of the time when we talk about special events that happen. Well, we're going to kind of go roundtable and just kind of throw out some topics that we wanted to chat about until there's really nothing left that we want to talk about. So I'm going to turn it over to Steve. We'll start with you. What's the first thing you want to talk about from XO this past weekend?
They showed a new trailer with a little bit of gameplay for Kingdom Hearts 3. And I am so pumped for this game. Probably the most hyped I've been for a video game in a long time, including Red Dead Redemption 2. Like the levels of hype for me is through the roof. So seeing a new trailer was pretty awesome. We saw a lot of new mini games. As those of you who played the games before know that like the 100 Acre Woods is kind of a reprieve from the action game as a whole, and you can do some mini games, and some of them are fun. Some of them haven't been so fun in the past, but the mini games they showed looked a lot more in depth and a lot more enjoyable. There was like, I forget the name of the game, but basically you shoot the colors, and when you match 3, they disappear and you try to clear the board. There's countless games, and as soon as you'll see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they showed that, and that looked pretty cool. So I'm so happy for this game. I can't wait. It's only like 2 months away, 2 months and like 2 weeks away. And I'm counting down the days. Christmas can come and go for all I care. I just want it to be, I think it's January 29th. It might be the 22nd. But
it's the 29th, I believe.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Okay. I can't wait. So I don't know if you saw anything. I doubt you saw anything, Tyler, that would make you like change your mind about wanting this. But
so the thing is, like, I don't know enough about this franchise, so I'm going to defer to you on your excitement here and all that stuff. But like, for somebody that has never really played it, has never even been all that interested in it, to be honest. Not a knock on the game, it's just I haven't been interested. Like, I didn't see anything that struck me as new there. Obviously, you did, because you know it really well.
Yeah, like, this trailer wasn't meant to try to convince people to come play it. I feel like at this point, if you haven't been convinced by the previous trailers, you're probably not. I don't
Yeah.
think that's entirely fair to the game. I do think, well, I don't want to like insult anyone. I think the Disney kind of like turns some people off, even though the games are actually really in depth for the action and stuff. And the little trailers haven't exactly shown how in depth they can get. It's shown like blurbs and stuff, but I feel like every trailer so far has been for the fans, and I think that's okay because, man, you're probably not, well, you're not going to understand the story at all if you have never played Kingdom Hearts in the past. You might still have fun with the game, but you won't understand the overarching story. You'll understand like the individual story beats because they're all just the Disney movie stories turned into the game form. But yeah, there's nothing new. I mean, it's just a new trailer, but it's not going to convince anyone. But for those of us that are super, super pumped for Kingdom Hearts 3, like, this trailer was just more awesomeness.
Yeah, and you got that series coming to Xbox for the first time ever on January, I believe it's 29th of next year. So that's awesome for people that are fans of it. Happy for you. It's pretty cool, and, you know, I hope everybody's excited and looking forward to playing it. What I want to talk about first is the Game Pass announcements. They announced 16 new games coming to Game Pass. They're not all here right now. Some of them are coming, you know, next year at some point. But they announced 16 new titles. Steven, any of them stand out to you?
Yes, Hellblade. I did buy this on the PS4. I just haven't had a chance to play it. So the fact that I get it basically for free on the Xbox has me excited, and I will be finally giving it a go coming. I think it comes either by the end of the month or in December. I think it's December. Some point in December.
Yeah, for me, I think a lot of people expected this because it's a first-party title, but they did confirm that Ori and the Will of the Wisps will be on Game Pass day and date with launch, which is great. Really happy about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really stuck out to me from that list, but while I'm thinking of that, I want to ask you, do you feel like during these shows they make Game Pass too much the centerpiece of what they're doing?
No, because they don't have any first party, like big first party titles to announce. So this is what they're kind of like. I don't, shoving down our throats seems wrong to say because I don't think it's that, but that's, they do make it the main focus, but I think they're doing it so it's setting them up for next gen. I think I have this feeling that like Game Pass is going to continue in the next gen the same way, and they want to like make people understand how like good of a deal, because it's a great deal. And they want to like make people get that it's a great deal, because if they continue in the next gen, they can kind of pull some sales away from Sony, or just, you know, actually get people to buy, because they don't have to pay, you know, $60 every time a new first party title comes out. They get it for their $10 a month that they're playing, or they're paying for Game Pass. You know, that's why I feel like they're doing it. I mean, I could see the argument
for sure, but here's where I'm coming from, and I do have a couple more games I want to talk about from there. But first, just I feel like they constantly are marketing to people that don't have an Xbox One yet, or just got one. And I feel like that's what they're gearing up for right now with this big list that comes out, by the way, mostly in the holiday season. So when people get brand new Xbox One for Christmas, because there's some really good deals out there for Black Friday that we're going to talk about in 134, but I feel like they're marketing to those people and the sort of, quote, hardcore gamers that have been with them since the beginning and own a lot of the big titles that are on Game Pass already. I mean, I can see where they might feel a little slighted by it.
Yeah, but again, what else are you going to show? Because they haven't announced games coming out. So you can say that they feel slighted, but if Xbox doesn't have any new announcements, then they have to go with what they have.
Well, they did, in passing, confirm something for 2019.
Yeah.
That we weren't sure about.
Gears 5, right? I
Yep.
assume
Yeah,
what you're
Gears
talking
5.
about?
Yeah.
Yes, I heard that as well. But again, like, I think they're kind of saving that for probably E3, and it makes
for
more
sure.
business sense to do that anyways, because, like, confirming it right now, that's a year out, and it's hard to build hype that far out. But E3, when it's coming out 3, 4, 5 months later, depending on where in the fall it releases, that makes more sense. So, yeah, you can make the argument. I just don't agree with the argument.
Yeah, I'm not saying I agree with it either. I'm just throwing the question out there because I know that there are some Xbox fans that feel that way. So,
yeah, but
yeah. I mean, I think Game Pass is great overall. Go ahead.
A lot of these games that come to that they announced for Game Pass are not huge games that we already owned. A lot of them are new, or I mean, I'm looking at the list right now, and most of them aren't.
And I think the great thing about this list is that they're all smaller games that, honestly, probably 90% of them never would have been on my radar to begin with. But now I might actually give them a shot and play it. So a couple that stand out to me that are like that. Supermarket Shriek. For whatever reason, that looked intriguing to me. Not sure why. It just kind of did. And then Void Bastards, which comes out next year, which is that weird, like, fast-paced shooter type thing. From one of the people behind the BioShock series. So those games looked really interesting to me. We also got I think we already knew Crackdown 3 was coming to it. But, you know, there's some good games here that stand out that I think will, be really good additions to the service. You mentioned, though, there's a big game coming off Game Pass really soon.
Yeah, I noticed when I was scrolling through the store that Fallout 4 was... Actually, Fallout 4 got removed yesterday. I think it was the 11th. And that surprised me because it was not on there for very long. It was on there for maybe 4 months. Because it got put on basically right. It was either the day of E3 or like the day after Bethesda's conference. So, yeah, that's like 5 months. Which is a decent amount of time, but I don't know. It's also that 5 months went by really fast. So,
yeah,
I hope you guys...
Go ahead. I'm sorry. that was E3 week that it came out, for sure.
Yes.
So, I remember them talking about it, and we made the argument on the show, like, the key reason those games need to be there is that really helps support the smaller devs that put their games on Game Pass, because people buy it for Fallout 4, for Forza Horizon 4, for Sea of Thieves, whatever, and then they start playing these other games that they never would have played.
So, real quick, it just kind of hit me. Do you think they removed it because they don't want people playing Fallout 4 for free, basically, when they have this brand new game coming out in Fallout 76?
100%.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So what do you want to talk about next?
Let's see here, because there's a lot of cool things we saw. I did want to mention that the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy is coming to backwards compatibility with Xbox One X enhancements. I enjoyed it's supposed to be like Tuesday, I think tomorrow. Yeah. I really enjoyed the first two games, 13 and 13-2, and I didn't get a chance to play Lightning Returns because for reasons that I won't get into. So I'll definitely think about playing the three of them again. The problem is I have like 500 games in my installed or ready to install list with, a new game coming out basically every 2-3 weeks. So I don't know if I'm going to get a chance, but I'll think about it, and I probably will end up buying it, but I may not play it. But that's pretty cool for those of you that missed it. They were pretty fun games. Yeah. They're good Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, I never played it, and I'm not sure that I will. We'll see. But yeah, again, to the people who are super excited about that, awesome. Have at it. Glad they're bringing that to the console as well. All right. So, Sea of Thieves, Steven. And actually, let's talk about two games that Xbox put out this year that I think we'll both agree were fairly big disappointments. At least for us personally. And those were Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. So they both got some news on the Inside Xbox show at XO. Sea of Thieves is getting a PvP update in early 2019. Is that enough to bring you back to the game?
No, that was what I hated about the game in the first place. So no, absolutely not. If they added like a co-op, like strictly PvE like server, then absolutely. But unless I missed it, which is possible, like
No, you
there's,
didn't.
no, I'm not coming back to that game.
That's not enough for me either. I think the hope there is that the people that just want to do that will go play that, and it'll open up the game for other players, the main game. So I don't know how much that's going to work, because I think some people just like being dicks.
Yes, I was gonna say.
So
people like being trolls. So
yep. So State of Decay 2. You know, Graham's not here on this episode with us today, but he played more of it than we did for sure. But new update coming November 16th. Any interest in that?
No, I just have too much stuff to play. I didn't hate the game. I just didn't love it. I didn't even really like it enough to want to continue playing. So yeah, nothing I saw from this new update makes me want to go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, there's too much stuff to play right now, and
yeah,
it didn't hook me.
Okay.
So,
all right, what do you have next?
all right. One thing I think games have kind of forgotten, in some cases, is how to have fun. And Just Cause 4 is the complete opposite of that. It's only fun. Like it does. I don't even think it's pretending to be realistic or even have like that, like, you know, just realistic of a story or whatever. But it looks really freaking fun. It looks like Michael Bay, the video game, just set pieces
Yep.
and crazy explosions. And I played Just Cause 2 and had a blast with it. And I played Just Cause 3 after it kind of went through this like turbulence with just not running very smooth. When they fixed it, it was pretty fun. It's just fun to go in and blow things up. You know, grapple hook and wingsuit and parachute all around the world. It just looks fun in the trailer. While I know you had a problem with the trailer mostly being CGI, I still think it looks like a blast. And a game that I wasn't really going to pick up, I think I'm absolutely going to buy in this December window, because there's not really much else. And sometimes it's just fun to mess around.
Well, they redeemed themselves for me, because they showed some gameplay after that.
Yeah, they did.
And the gameplay looks fun. Like, we're sitting there watching it, we're laughing, like, because it's so obnoxious and over the top. So, yeah, I think that's the perfect type of game, especially for that time of year, because you're kind of through all the, quote, serious games by then, you know?
Yes.
And something more fun is often what the doctor ordered at that point. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a lot of fun. So
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there will be no multiplayer, so, like... Mm-hmm. That kind of sucks, because it would probably be pretty fun to do with other people, like especially co-op at least. But
I think where you'll get some of that mayhem though in multiplayer is in Crackdown.
Yes, I mean that's true.
Crackdown 3's multiplayer looked good. Like I don't know if good is the right word, but it certainly looks fun.
Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah. So.
We'll see.
All right, I think there's two really big stories left to hit on. I know you want to talk about one of them for sure, so I'll bring up mouse and keyboard support coming November 14th for a bunch of games. And did how they showed it sway you at all? Because I know you weren't too keen on getting the mouse and keyboard for the console.
No, I mean nothing they showed swayed me, and the games they showed it for, like the support for, didn't sway me either. It was all like, well, not all, but most of it was like shooters. And you know how much I love shooters. Yeah. And it's not even the shooters I care about. It's like Fortnite's probably the biggest game on that list. So, you know, those of you that want to play mouse and keyboard on your Xbox can now play against other mouse and keyboard people on your Xbox. Well, and I assume crossplay with PC. But yeah, nothing in there makes me want mouse and keyboard. Now, if they start adding like mouse and keyboard support for like your RPGs, and your, you know, like Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin 2, like Torment, all those games, and then maybe even add like Civilization 6 to the Xbox, then I would think about picking it up. But, you know, they have this partnership with Razer. that's supposed to have like the mouse and keyboard that are coming, and I think it's all in one package. And I was guessing 200. Tyler, what were you saying again?
I said 150.
Yeah, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah.
With that,
And we could be
price,
way off. It could be $100. You know, we don't know.
It could, but I just know when I got a Razer keyboard at 50% off, it was still $80.
Yeah.
So I doubt it'll be that cheap, especially because it's like proprietary and stuff.
Mhm.
So with that money, I'd rather just get PSVR because I think it'd be more fun, unique experience. So yeah, nothing they showed really makes me want to switch right away.
Sure. All right, so I know there's something you wanted to talk about. The arguably, well, not even arguably, in my mind, the biggest announcement from the Inside Xbox show. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a throwaway comment too because it wasn't touched on very long, but Winter of Arcade is coming to Xbox this year. I know in the past the show has talked about Summer of Arcade, and it's always been a prediction for like E3. I think it was like 3 years in a row here, and finally we're getting a version of that with Winter of Arcade. None of the games have been announced, which is good because now I'm curious because that was always the fun of Summer of Arcade. You didn't quite know what was coming until it happened.
They said Game Awards, right? We would hear.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. So I can't wait. I wonder if it's gonna be kind of a Winter of Arcades mixed with like 12 Days of Christmas thing they've done in the past.
Be cool. That would.
And so I'm gonna have to get my wallet ready because if it's anything like the old Summer of Arcade, there's gonna be a lot of really fun arcade games being put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's hoping for like Mr. Explosion Man 3.
Yeah. So I know there's one other big story you wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna talk about Forza Horizon 4 real quick. So we're getting the first expansion soon. We were kind of debating on it, whether or not it'll be free. I absolutely don't think it will. I think it's going to be paid. I think Game Pass just means you get the base game, right? And the main reason a lot of these developers put, the base game on there is so you hopefully buy the DLC. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be cool. Forza Horizon 4 is a great game.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see like lightning strikes in 4K.
Yeah,
along with the
cool.
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah. And I think the driving setting, right?
Yeah, I think the driving will be fun too because it's supposed to be like you're driving around and they're like cliff sides. So what's scary in real life, terrifying even, will be really fun to do at 50, 60 miles an hour, trying to drift down that. I know we have a couple people in our community who love drifting.
Really good at it.
And they're very good at it. So I think that'll be a very fun thing for you guys. And I'm excited. Because I picked up the expansion pass to support because I got the game just by paying for Game Pass. So at $40 for the expansion, I thought it was worth it. And Forza, the Horizon games have always had really good expansions. So yeah, I'm not worried about this at all.
All right. So one more thing I think you want to hit on?
No, that was all mine.
So how about the new studios, Steven?
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened. I can't believe I missed that. Yeah, Microsoft acquired both Obsidian and In Exile Entertainment, and like Obsidian had been rumored, and then every like rumor just kind of went away, but it never was canceled. And I know those of you that were paying attention figured that it was guaranteed to be announced here, and it was. But the In Exile thing kind of came out of nowhere. By the way, for those that don't know, Obsidian created Pillars of Eternity and the South Park like RPGs, and then In Exile did Torment, Tides of Numenera, and the Wasteland series. So both have a history of RPGs and a lot of isometric RPGs. So I'm excited to see going forward what type of games they're going to make. I think it creates a more diverse library of games potentially for Microsoft, which is what they so desperately needed and have needed for a long time. Are you excited? Are you worried about this?
I'm only worried in one scenario. If Microsoft starts telling them what type of game to make, let Obsidian and In Exile, let them do what they know and what they want to do. So if they have an RPG in mind that they've always wanted to do, that now they can with the backing of a publisher like Microsoft Studios, let them do it and get out of their way. and just trust. You bought them, so obviously you trust what they can do. Let them do their thing. That's it. That's all I'm saying. RPGs aren't my thing, really, but again, they need it. Microsoft needs this. They can't just put out shooters and racing games. So they badly needed this. It's a great pickup for them. I'm happy for them. I'm happier for the fan base.
Yeah, and I know there are people that are complaining because Microsoft has had a history of like running studios like this into the ground, or just making life miserable for them. But I feel like that was kind of the old guard of Microsoft. I feel like the way Xbox has gone with Phil Spencer, I don't know if that's entirely the case. Of course, I'm just guessing based on what I see, and what you're shown is not always what's the truth. Because, for those of you that listened to our Blood, Sweat, and Pixels episode or read the book yourselves, know that Microsoft did not come off as good guys in a lot of the cases. The Age of Empires studio, I can't remember the name of the studio, but that one kind of tore Microsoft a new one a little bit. And even Destiny or Bungie's.
Yeah,
chapter.
It seems like the only time during the Phil Spencer era or the Xbox One era that there's sort of been some friction was with Insomniac, with Sunset Overdrive, because Sunset, they still throw those little comments out once in a while, like when they released Spider-Man, just praising Sony for how supportive they were and they just let them do whatever they wanted and all this stuff. Like, yes, that's praise for Sony. It's also a shot at Microsoft.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only time I've ever really seen it from this generation, except for, Steve, why can't I think of the name now? The game you were really excited for, Scalebound.
Oh yeah, but you got to remember that Sunset Overdrive was probably being developed. Actually, it absolutely had to have been developed before the Switch, because that game came out really early in the Xbox One, within a year. So that might have even been before Phil Spencer kind of took over.
It is for sure. It's before he took over, because he didn't take the reins until 2014, I want to say.
Yeah, and Scalebound, I was excited, but it might have been a case where you just needed to kind of cut your losses, and you can't really keep putting money into a sinking ship, basically. And so, I'm not trying to be like the Microsoft apologist right now, but I don't foresee this going negatively in the same way that I think a lot of people are.
Oh, I don't either. And I think that, fans tend to always side with whoever's perceived to be, quote, the little guy in any scenario.
Yeah.
So, we talked about working conditions in some studios a few episodes ago. Fans side with the employees there because they're the little guy, right?
Yeah.
In this case, they side with the developer over the monstrous publisher. I think in the case of Scalebound, you can't keep delaying the game forever. At some point, you got to get something out there, and you can't keep pouring money into it.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know all the details behind the scenes, but that's kind of what it looked like and seemed like from some of the stuff that was said. So, all right. One last thing I want to ask before we wrap this up, Steven, is just the Inside Xbox shows in general. We've seen a few of them now. They've replaced, Gamescom. They didn't do a stage show this year. They did an Inside Xbox. Here they did it. Do you feel like these shows are good? I personally felt this one was far better than the Gamescom one.
Agreed. This one was better than Gamescom. Gamescom was really boring. This one is better. I do think these shows will get better. I just think the problem right now is they have nothing that I care about, really. I don't care that much about State of Decay 2. I don't care that much about Sea of Thieves. And so and being that they both take up 5-10 minutes, it feels like an eternity when you don't care about it. And I know there are people that do, so they might perceive how these shows are way differently. This one was much better, and because we saw some things we didn't know, and I don't know, just the show in general was better structured. I'm interested to see how these shows go next year, because I don't really foresee them having a big Inside Xbox unless they do one for the Game Awards, which I doubt.
I doubt it.
So I don't think we're going to see anything till E3, and then E3 will be E3. So we're
Well, no,
probably
we'll
gonna
see. I bet you we'll see some Inside Xbox episodes like every 2 months or so.
Sure, but they're never that big. Like the ones that are on like Saturday, those were like 20 to 30 minutes, weren't they?
No, not the one at the end of September. That one was like an hour and a half, and it was basically a Forza Horizon 4 infomercial.
Oh, maybe I forgot that one. We watched that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We'll also get one, I would guess, right before Crackdown comes out, and that's probably going to be the same.
Yeah.
So I just hope they follow more the template that they followed this past weekend. I thought that show was pretty good.
Yeah,
so,
I think though next year, like for these types of shows, like the one we might see at Gamescom next year, or if they do another XO event, I think the shows will be better because they might have more. Especially, it just depends on what's coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Nope.
All right. So that is our sum up of the XO18 Inside Xbox show from Microsoft from this past weekend. A lot of stuff announced. So if we missed something that you're really excited about, let us know. Send us an email, the Gaming Hub podcast at gmail.com. You can go on to Facebook, join our community there. The Gaming Hub forums on Facebook. You can go to Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub. From either of those places, click the link for Discord and let us know what we missed there. So if you want to help support the show, we'd really appreciate that. You can go to Twitch. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month. And if you choose to spend that on us, it would really help us grow the show, do better giveaways for the community, etc. And we also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/gaminghub. And we have tiers ranging from $2 to $25 there. So, all right. So for Steve and I'm Tyler saying thank you so much for joining us for episode 133. We'll be back with a normal episode 134 this weekend. Until then, everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Goodbye.